Entitled Mom tries to blame me for her ringing phone. I work at a supermarket and this happened last February, before the lockdown started. One Sunday I was stocking yogurt when a woman came up to me and the first thing I noticed was the default iPhone ringtone blaring from her cart. I have auditory processing disorder, so the phone on top of the sound of the coolers and just the general busy supermarket sounds made it extremely hard for me to figure out what she was asking me for, and I had to ask her to repeat herself multiple times. When I finally figured out what she was asking me for, she went off and I thought that would be the end of it. But nope. A few minutes later she came back to the yogurt with the manager in tow and a smug look on her face. The manager walked up to me and said, "This customer said that your phone was going off the entire time she was trying to ask you for help with something?" Before I could even start to explain what happened, the woman's phone started going off again and she said, "There it goes again." I can't believe how rude teenagers are these days. I sighed and turned to my manager and asked, "Sir, may I take my phone out of my pocket to prove that that's not my phone?" He responded, "You may." I then pulled my silent Samsung Galaxy S7 out of my pocket and say, "That's the default iPhone ringtone, I have a Samsung." The woman's smug look immediately faded from her face. She reached into her purse and pulled out the still blaring iPhone. Oh, it was my phone. I just saw her Apple Watch and assumed it was her phone because you know how teenagers are with their phones. Two things I have are a Fitbit Versa 2, not an Apple Watch, and I was 29 when this happened. She then answered her phone, walked away while arguing with the person who called her, who I'm going to presume was her kid based on how she practically yelled, "I'm not getting that for your lunchbox." My manager then turned to me and said, "I'm sorry about that, op. I didn't think you would do something like that."
Saved by the store owner. I recently bought a Nintendo Switch for my 9-year-old daughter for her birthday. She had played on her cousins on many occasions and it was the one thing she wanted most. With the price gouging of the pandemic, I was hesitant to pay the overinflated price, but I lucked out and was able to buy it at normal retail cost. This meant a big deal for the both of us. We were in a shoe store, replacing her worn-out snow boots. The store staff was busy, so we calmly sat and waiting our turn. My daughter pulled her Switch out and started playing. Enter the entitled mom and kid. Kid whining, "I want that." Pointing to Switch. My daughter ignores him, so he says it again louder. At this exact moment, a salesman comes to me and asks what I need. As I'm explaining about the boots and size, the entitled kid snatched the Switch out of my daughter's hands and runs deeper into the store. She immediately gives chase. The salesman starts hollering about not going down the aisles, store policy during COVID. The kid runs to his mother and hides behind her. My daughter is crying and says she wants her Switch back. Entitled mom states that the Switch is her son's property and that my daughter is a lying thief. That set me off. Luckily, the salesman intervened and asked to see the device before something physical happened. She refuses and goes to leave. The store owner, who was manning the cash register, steps in front of the door and states that no one is leaving until everything is sorted out. Entitled mom pulls her phone and calls her husband, who shows up 5 minutes later. He's a cop. And he instantly takes his wife's story as the truth. The store owner isn't taking it. He calls the police non-emergency line and requests a few officers, who show up. Now there are 5 policemen, the wife and her kid, still holding the Switch, the salesman and owner, my daughter and me. The entitled mom is shouting, her husband is trying to pull rank and my daughter is sobbing. The store owner yells for everyone to quiet down and shows the police the CCTV behind the counter. He rewinds the footage and it shows entitled kid stealing the Switch. Another officer takes the device and asks my daughter a few questions, account name, loaded games, etc. She answers flawlessly and without hesitation. He hands it to her and the entitled kid starts howling. Entitled mom shrieks that it belongs to her son. Her husband just hangs his head. The other officers remove them from the store peacefully. The best part? The store owner gave my daughter her new boots for free. It should have ended here, but entitled mom was waiting outside with her husband when we came out. She prodded him and he loudly stated that this wasn't over as we walked to our car. Then one of the other officers said, "It better be." If I hear you harassing them, you're over. I've had it with your shit. It's been a few weeks since this happened with no further complications, so I truly hope that it's done.
Entitled mom demands that we don't take photos of her son and then complains when there are no photos of him. I am a volunteer youth worker. I specialize in canoeing, bushcraft, and expeditions. Every few years we travel from the UK to France where we do river expeditions, caving, climbing, etc. As part of the planning process, we have to gather information on the young people, mostly medical and legal stuff, and we have a comment in the forms about opting out of photos and video. This is mostly for young people who have court-issued protection order due having an abusive parent or a protected adoption or similar. Entitled mother latched onto this and used it to exert power. She stated that darling son was not to appear on any image or video or there would be trouble. So we complied with her request. Subtly so as not to make the son feel awkward. After the week away we compiled video of the canoe descent of the river, trip to the caving, we have night vision cameras, climbing, river swimming. All of it, and we gathered all the photos taken by us and the participants. There were thousands when we started this. Years ago we handed out disposable cameras and maybe had 200 photos, now we wade through thousands of near identical images. We compiled slideshows and created souvenir DVDs and memory sticks with the best images documenting the whole thing. Everyone gets a DVD and memory stick. Great memories. Entitled mom called shortly after her son arrived complaining that son didn't seem to appear in any of the videos or photos and he was quite upset. We pointed out that she had specifically told us that we were not to take any photos or video. She was furious that we had ruined his trip because he will have nothing to remember it by. Ranting and raving about us ruining his entire trip and we should refund payment for it. We never saw entitled mom or son again. Sad because son really needed to get away from entitled mom before she ruined him for life.
Entitled mom tries to steal my phone but actually gets escorted out by security. Backstory: for Christmas, I got the new iPhone 12 and I just got my case. It's a blue plaid case. My only phone I had was the 6S Plus and it was passed down to me from my mom, so this was my first new phone. I was really protective over it. This happened last Saturday and I haven't had time to write it down. So my best friend and I were going to the mall. Her mom had to run a few errands, so she decided to tag along and be our driver since neither of us wanted to drive. We decided to go to Starbucks first and grab some refresher, and we were joking about how basic we were being and having a fun time. Anyway, so as I was paying for my phone I hear some random screech, and I ignore it cause I just thought some kid was mad or something. As my best friend and I were waiting, showing things on our phone to each other, mainly memes, a kid approached us. "Kid, can I play games on your phone?" Me: "Sorry buddy, but not today." Kid: "But my mommy said I could." Me: "I really can't, I'm sorry." Our drinks, and 2 cake pops, got called so we grabbed them and sat down. We were having a fun time when I see a lady madly approaching us. Entitled mom: "Why didn't you let my kid use your phone?" Me: "Because I don't feel comfortable giving out my phone to strangers, especially during this time of COVID. My phone was sitting on the table so I put my hand over it in case she tried to grab it." Best friend: "Lady, please leave us alone. We are just trying to enjoy our Saturday." Entitled mom freaking reaches for my phone with her long ass nails and tries to dig it into my effing hand. Me: screaming ah. Best friends: like a boss, slaps the lady. Entitled mom: "This lady assaulted me and stole my phone. Help, help." There was already a few people around here. Mall security was near cause there is an Apple store about 50 feet away. Security: "What happened here?" Entitled mom: "This bee took my phone and her friend assaulted me." Best friend: "That's to what happened," points to my hand, "there was a little blood." Security comes and takes my phone. Me: That's my phone." Security: "Yes, I already know that, but let's double check." Security holds the phone in front of the entitled mom's face and it doesn't unlock. Holds the phone in front of my face and wow, it unlocks, and there are messages from my parents. Entitled mom: "She hacked it, she hacked my phone." Me: "No I didn't, calm the hell down." After a small dispute, entitled mom is escorted out and Starbucks gave us each $50 gift cards and free cake pop. The bleed was like a bad paper cut. But everybody was fine. In the end, I had a really good time at the mall. TLDR: entitled mom tries to steal my phone but actually gets escorts out by security. Edit: Many people are asking me if I pressed charges. The security guard asked me if I wanted to, but I declined. It's too much of a hassle for a small incident.
Entitled mom tries to kill daughter because she drank tea. I'm a male, 17, and have a brother, 14, and a sister, 20. My dad, ND, nice dad, and M, entitled mom. Backstory: I live in a small town on the west coast. We live in one of the more affluent areas of the town. We have a farmhouse, and next to the house, there is a small plot of land which is owned by my granddad, entitled mom's side. My parents grow coffee on the plot and have a well-established coffee business. Here goes. Me and my brother are relaxing in the living room playing a video game. Just then, our sister walks into the house with a big box. My brother asks her what is in the box. She tells us she got tired of drinking coffee all the time, so she got some tea. FYI, our entitled mom makes us drink coffee as often as she can, and only from our farm. I chuckle and we go back to our game. Fast forward to the evening. My mom is in the kitchen making preparations for dinner. My dad is still out on the farm. Us siblings are all in our respective rooms. Suddenly, I hear a shriek that could have very well been Satan screaming. I rush into the corridor and see my brother and sister in the corridor as well. We go down and see my mom on the floor. I rush to her and ask her if she's okay. I assume she slipped and hit her head on the island. She looks at us and her eyes are red with pure rage. Here is the convo which ensues. Kids: Mom, what's wrong? Mom, nonchalantly, oh, I was just looking for the flour and I found these. Holds up a couple of tea bags. Who bought tea into my house? Brother: Sister bought some tea from the convenience store down the road because she was kind of tired of coffee, to be honest. Mom: Is this true? Sister: Yeah, and I guess we all need a break. At this point we still don't know that she is mad. Mom gets up: Do you understand how shameful and abhorrent? Yes, she said those two words. It's going to look when the daughter of the seller of the best coffee in this county is drinking tea? Sister: Jesus mom, relax, it's tea not weed. Mom storms off. At dinner, we come down and there is still quite some tension. I had overheard my dad speaking to my sister about the commotion he heard. When we get to the dining room, we only see 4 plates set up. My sister's plate isn't in her usual spot. She looks puzzled, but not surprised because she realized Mom is still mad. She apologizes to Mom and says she will drink tea away from her side and asks for her plate. I guess that was too much for my mom to handle, so she took her plate and threw it like a frisbee at my sister. It hit her in the head and shattered to pieces. My dad rushes to her and sees that her cheeks were bleeding heavily. He takes me, my brother, and my sister and storms off to the hospital. When we leave, we hear our mom yell, "Fuck you, you slutty tea drinker. I hope you die so you can drink all the tea you want in hell." Yikes. Anyways, my sister is currently in the ICU because a glass shard went pretty deep in, and during the surgery, I guess she got infected and she had COVID, so I think it caused complications. My dad is getting a divorce from my mom and looks like he'll get custody, yay. Also, don't worry, my sister has insurance. So, yeah. That's my crazy entitled mom story.